everyone, so on this video we're going to talk about love. So as some of you might know, I've recently split up with my husband after 21 years. Now Tony was very much my soulmate. We met old school way, we got pissed in a pub, copped off, 21 years later, 4 kids, lived happily ever after, give or take a few bumps along the way. Now what I'm finding really interesting is obviously the dating world has completely changed, since back in the 90s. But so many people are confused about the different types of love. Now, the path I've walked, I'm very much a spiritual healer. I've learned a lot about the world and energy. And I just find it really sad that people are so confused about love. So, hence the video. So, the first thing we're going to talk about today is soulmates. Now, unfortunately, due to Disney and the Cinderella story, the world's mistaken in believing that you only have one soulmate, and once you meet them, that's it. They're your soulmate forever, and if it doesn't work out, tough shit, there's no one else for you. Now that's not actually true. So soulmates are souls that have agreed to be part of your life. Now I believe in reincarnation, so I believe we have a group of souls that reincarnate, and you'll know a soulmate when you meet them because you feel like you've known them your whole life. There isn't a sense of coming home, but they're just very easy to talk to. It's like you've known them all your life. Like there's no conflict, there's no bickering. You get on really well. But what people don't realise is that with soulmates, yes, you can have more than one. In fact, you've got loads. So your best mate is your soulmate. If you think about your best mate, there's nothing they can do that would ever make you hate them. There's nothing that they could do that, if they phoned you up in the middle of the night, as the joke goes, oh my God, I've got a dead body that I need to hide, will you help me? You'd be like, yeah, of course, be there in 10 minutes, pick it up with a spade. Soulmates are exactly that, what we say in Liverpool, your mate, someone who you're really close to, who will be a guide for you on your journey. And if you think about it, when you're going through bad times, who do you call? You call your mum, your dad, your best mate. My best mate's my cousin. Your phone, the people who you care about, your mate, your soulmate. So you can have more than one soulmate. Your soulmate might necessarily be your life partner, especially if you're in a relationship that's got a lot of conflict. You can think that that person was your soulmate, but actually that brings us on to the next type of relationship, which is what we call karmics. So a karmic relationship is when someone who has agreed to be part of your life to either teach you lessons or to help you develop into a better person for your future relationships. So karmics can be violent, they can be abusive, narcissistic, definitely. But actually not all karmic relationships are really bad ones. Sometimes they can just be relationships that show you a certain way of how to do things or how not to do things. Now, in the twin flame community, there's a whole big thing about karmic. So a lot of people believe that a karmic is leftover karma that you've got from a previous life that you now have to pay that debt to someone else. I don't believe in that. I don't believe really in karma rolling through lives. I believe in yin and yang and the balance of nature, of good and bad. I don't believe there is any bad. Don't believe there's necessarily good. I believe it's about balancing the two energies, and there should be an ebb and flow of that. So karmic relationships to me means someone who's there to teach you a lesson, not in like, you did this to me 500 years ago in another life and now I fucking want this off you, but more actually you need to learn this to help your soul develop into a better person. So karmic relationships, you can tell because they don't last. Now they may last for several years, but they don't last in the long term. So a catalyst is the next one. Now you'll know a catalyst because it's very much a short-term whirlwind thing. Catalysts are relationships or people that you meet, and it's not necessarily to do with love. It's not necessarily to be with a life partner or affect your love life. Catalysts can come and go in any part of your life, whether it's work, your business. You might meet someone on holiday who tells you something amazing and then you come home and change your life. So a catalyst is someone that comes along to push you off your path because you're not meant to be there anymore. There's the old saying that, we get signs along the way if you're not where you're meant to be. If you're on the wrong path, they say the gods will throw a pebble and then they'll throw a stone, and then if you don't listen, they throw a brick wall, and you've literally got no chance of getting past that because you're not meant to be there anymore. And having been in those situations, you know, it can be quite painful when you need to move on and you don't. And I'm not talking about my relationship with Tony. I'm talking about other times in my life, jobs that I've been in that I shouldn't have stayed in. You know, the warning signs were there, but I decided to stay because we have free will. And then next thing you know, life hits you over the head with a brick and off you pop. So catalysts come into your life to help move you on in your journey, to just give you that little push. And it'll be quite a strong energetic with that energy with that person, but as I said, it's a short-term thing. Now, love isn't black and white. There's a whole massive grey area. You know, we're quite lucky to live in an era now where the gay community is able to freely, in a lot of countries, there are places that aren't, express what they want. And the whole meet your partner, live happily ever after is actually a lot of bullshit. Now, I was really lucky. I had 21 years together with my husband. And people go to me, yeah, but your marriage failed. It didn't fail. Things naturally come to an end. Things don't always last forever. In fact, can't really think of anything off the top of my head that does last forever, to be honest. But that's okay, because that is the whole nature of life, is change. Now, people go, yeah, but, you know, me nan and granddads were together for 50 years. Yeah, I understand that. That does happen for a lot of people. More than likely because your nan couldn't survive financially without your granddad helping her, and there wasn't a lot of social security to help, you know, single families back in the day. And if you speak to a lot of these couples who have been together for decades, on the surface they go, yeah, it was great, but I guarantee along the way, you know, there'll be bad experiences, there'll have been adulteries, there'll have been, you know, abusive relationships, there'll have been fantastic times, there'll have been amazing adventures. But from what I know from my friends, relatives, actually a lot of people would walk away if they were brave enough to do that. But that's my opinion, and everyone's got their own opinion. That's why the world's amazing. So going back to relationships, soulmate, it isn't just one. You can have many. There might be one that will walk this path with you for the rest of your life. There might not. That was depending on what you chose. Everyone's life path's different. Karmics are here to teach you lessons. They won't be long term. Might be a couple of months, might be a couple of years, but those relationships will end because they're just there to serve a purpose, to not even to guide you, to give you tools, lessons, and points in your life that will help you in the future. And it's important to recognise a karmic because they are crucial to your journey. But you can also get wrapped up in believing they're your soulmate, so it is important you recognise a karmic when you see one. Catalysts, as I've just said, they're here to bump you off your journey when you're on the wrong path, when you're not happy and you know you're not, and you're trying to plod on and trying to move life away that feels like you're forcing it, like this is the way you're meant to be, but somehow it's not working and you're just not listening to those feelings. And that was the final thing I wanted to leave you with today when I talk about love. Your head can get so much in the way. You'll say, should I text them? Should I phone them? Will she like me? Will she like if I wear this outfit? Will he like me if I do this, that or the other? You know, one of my friends was like, would it be okay if I asked him out on a date? Do what you like. Don't listen to your head. Your head will give it this all day long. And most of the time, it's speculation. You actually haven't got a clue what that other person is going on in their head. And everything you're thinking of is just your brain's way of trying to rationalise it. But you don't actually know, and you can't guess unless you're 100% psychic. And I am psychic, but even I don't figure out what's going on in other people's heads. I can speculate, but that's all it is. It's speculation. Don't listen to your feelings. Your body, when you're meet someone, is going to be flooded with emotions. You know, your brain is telling you this story. Oh, we're going to live happily ever after. You know, I must love them. You've got all these emotions firing up. You've got all this chemicals, oxytocin, dopamine, you know, I could go on forever listing them all, pumping through your body, attracting you to this person. Because guess what? Our bodies are designed to breed and to continue the species. So of course you're captivated with this person right now. Of course that person you met, you know, in college that you wished you'd been with is still playing on your mind because it's survival of the fittest. But what you do need to listen to is listen to your heart. Your heart doesn't lie. So your brain might be telling you this is the one. Your hormones might be telling you that too. But if there's a little bit of doubt in your gut, that's who you need to be listening to. Your heart doesn't lie. Your heart has got a direct line to your higher self. It remembers why you were put on this earth, and it recognises other souls who are part of your journey. And you might even be with someone who you know deep down you love dearly, and you've got to follow that, your heart pull, I call it. It's like that little tug. One of the things I forgot to say is that when you're listening to your heart, it feels peaceful. That's how you know something is lining up as part of your destiny. It's not a big fireworks or passion or, you know, all these hormones pumping through. You feel peaceful and you feel calm and you feel like that's the way it always should have been. That's the voice you need to listen to. That is the heart talking. When you feel so good inside, even if your head's giving it all of this, the things you shouldn't do, even if your hormones are pumping, you're full of, you know, these hormones that make you attracted to someone. But if you feel peaceful, that's where love lies. And on a final note, for those of you who are interested in spiritual ascension, this is the big secret that everyone's keeping. You're actually ascending to love, and one day you'll reach a point where you just love everyone because you're so grateful and so blessed to be here that even just thinking of your worst, baddest thoughts, the worst experience you had, makes you feel filled with love because you were here and you got to experience it. And one day you go back to pure love, which is where we're all connected, and that's why love feels so amazing. Take care, everyone. Bye, and I love you.